What's up, guys? That guy with the pencil here, back for another edition of Tier List Tuesdays, where we're here to rank the class of 1A for My Hero Academia. And honestly, I'm gonna warn you right now, me getting into recording this tier list right here, right now, let me tell you, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Y'all may see there's a little bit of a difference. We do still got perfection. We got your greats. We got your okay, and then we have not meh. We have yikes. That's what this is full of. This actually has a few yikes in there. Then of course the why do exist. Now honestly, let me just drop off a couple why do exist right here, right now. Like Coda. Hold on. Who? Okay. Let me see. Who? Okay. Let me see. Who? Like I'm just going through. I'm just going through knocking people. Who? Okay. Literally. Who? Oh no. Who else? Who else? Okay. I think is that no. Who? Okay. I gotta stop. Let me think. Is there anyone else that's just why do you exist? And when I say why do you exist, this is like the most literal meaning of why do you exist that I've had in a tier list so far. Like, I could mostly just justify every other Why You Exist member in my previous tier list off just my own bias. But like, looking at the characters that I put here, let me see. Hold on. And you know what? That's it. It's these 6. Is it 6? Wow, 6 members of this class. Just Why Do You Exist? Okay, I'll run through them, I guess. Let me see. Is this in order? No, I hate you. Let me see. I'm ordering it right now just because I'm wondering. No, because you actually annoy me. Darn, I'd say that's the order. Let's go just straight from the bottom, I guess. Hagakure is literally invisible. I don't think I have to justify anything else. I don't care for like the only thing I could ever give Hagakure is that I've heard like speculation that she's the traitor, but I'm not even sure if we have that plotline anymore. It hasn't been brought up in forever in the manga. So the traitor plotline, no idea where that went, no idea where that's been. That's the only thing she's had. She has not a single cool moment, not a single cool bit. She can reflect light, or refract it, or whatever. That's it. But it's just like, I don't care. Like, she's a joke character, and I don't think she's meant to be, but to me, she's portrayed as a joke character. She's literally nothing. She's invisible, and you may be like, oh, well, her quirk isn't actually invisibility, it's just that she reflects light off her form, so you can't see what she looks like. She's invisible. I don't care. There's nothing to talk about when it comes to Hagakure. Like, if I were to draw Hagakure, I don't even know what I'm supposed to draw. Nothing. I could put a blank page on screen for about 2 minutes, and there you go. There you have Hagakure. Just in her hero costume. I draw a pair of gloves. Like, it's an actual joke. No way. Sato, he just looks weird. He looks weird, and he's had no moments ever. Like, he cooks. That's cool. That's it. Nothing. Actual nothing of a character. Can't remember a single thing he's actually done other than lose in the practical exams alongside Kirishima, but Kirishima has actually had some good moments. Is it Kirishima or Kirishima? I don't know. Whatever, I'll get to that when I get to that. Koda, his ability's cool. He's whack though. His design's whack. He's whack. His personality's whack. He can't even use his ability at the time. His little bit of development that he had that he can talk to insects now is whack. He never used it again. Koda's whack. Ojiro's whack. Like, and here's the thing. I know these characters' names at all because I'm somewhat remotely in the fandom and I've read enough My Hero Academia fan fiction and seen enough My Hero Academia fan art that I know these characters' names. If you ask me before I did any of that, could I name all these characters? Even after reading the entire series, by the way. No, I couldn't. Because they're worthless. They're literally why do you exist? Yeah, like Ojiro, he has one thing. He dropped out of the tournament. That isn't a positive in my mind. Oh, your martial arts honor. Your martial arts honor got you nowhere. I don't care. It seemed dumb in the moment. It was dumb in general. And if you watch any of my parts of My Hero, What If Midoriya Was Confident, y'all know I changed that because I figured it was stupid. Like, it's dumb to me. And Ojiro's dumb. His quirk is tail. And I guess that's another thing. Like, at least a majority of these Why Do You Exist characters, their quirks are whack. They're just whack. Like, yeah, I even Sero. Like, let me get on the Hanta Sero. I like him solely for the memes I've seen of him, for the creations of the community that I've seen of him, the interpretations of what little we have of a character, quotation marks and heavy quotation marks, what little character we've gotten. I'll give all fan artists and I'll give all fan fiction authors credit. Y'all stretched it, but I can't give Sero in the original series anything. His quirk is whack, he's whack, his design is whack, like everything about him's whack. And top of Why Do You Exist, Shoji, I still think he's whack too, and not even just for his design, but his quirk is whack too. What, dupla arms? Like, the closest thing we got to that, like, Shoji's a good example of society. He's a good example of that. That's why I put him at the top of Why Do You Exist, but, like, Shoji in of himself? Whack. Like, the one thing I remember him doing, he got bodied by Tokoyami. And that's about it. And he saved Midoriya, I guess. But that's it. I remember so little of what these characters do because they've had so little screen time. And that's always the problem, at least for me, whenever you have, like, a classroom or group of people. Unless you do it in a interesting or, like, thought out way. Like, I haven't read One Piece yet, but I've heard all those characters are memorable, and I can even, despite not reading it yet, I can name a lot of those characters off-site just because they're all super individual, and they've all had those individual moments from what I've heard. An example that I've actually read that I can actually cite as a good example of how to introduce such a large ensemble cast, Dr. Stone. I'm pretty sure that cast right now is 20 plus characters, but each character has had at least one, if not multiple moments. They each stand out and highlight themselves, and they all have a utility in the group. Even if some of their utilities overlap, they bring something new to the table, which is always good. It allows for something creative each time a character is put on screen. However, 1A doesn't have that, because they were all introduced at once, and Midoriya is the main character, so that's all you get. There's nothing I can say for a majority of these characters. That's why all of them are Why Do You Exist, because they have nothing cool to talk about. Their quirks are whack, everything about them is whack. So that's Why Do You Exist. I'm attacking My Hero Academia super hard. I need to stop. I need to do another success. I think I may do the success of their society next, because I feel bad tearing into it like this. If we're getting up into yikes tier, Ayama's a yikes. He's a very big yikes. He's a 12 out of 10. Oh boy, I don't know what we were doing. Yikes. He's weird. Like, he has his own little moment. He has his own little arc. He force-fed Midoriya cheese, and he's lonely. I don't fully understand Ayama. Ayama's a yikes solely for the fact that he's a yikes. Like, I feel like it doesn't help that he stares into the camera all the time. Like, it just makes him extra creepy. Like, he breaks the fourth wall, and I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny to me personally, so that ruins him for it. I think his entire character is just a bit... He's weird. He's very, very weird. And I'm trying to think of a character comparison I could give that makes Ayama weird and not in a good way in comparison to a character who is weird but in a good way. I don't know. Ayama's just yikes. Like, he's straight. I don't get his arc. His quirk is okay. Naval lays. I just don't get it. He's very, very weird. I feel like if his quirk was on someone else and it was used to a different degree, then maybe I'd like him more. Maybe I need to go and reread his arc in the manga, that like 4 or 5 chapter arc that came out of nowhere and led to nothing, because Ayama's nothing. Just like a lot of the characters who aren't named Bakugo, Midoriya, and Midoriya are nothing. I can't really say anything about Ayama other than he's a big yikes from what I remember. I want to talk about another big yikes. I mean, that's just very yikes. Actually, I'm gonna come back to Mineta. Am I getting into that so soon? Let me think. Who do I want to discuss next? You know what? Yaoyoro's is a yikes, and not a yikes as in like, oh, she's a bad character, her quirk is weird, yada yada yada. She's a yikes in the fact that she's we hit a problem that I also have with another character on this list who's looking so super happy down here, thinking he's gonna be all okay, but he's not going to be. Um, she's so smart, but she's not. Never uses it. Never uses it. I can't think of the one time outside the Aizawa fight where her intelligence has actually led to something useful. Like, and that's the thing. Everything else about her, I think her design's bland. I'll admit that. I don't think there's much memorable about Yaoyorozu's design. And I think her quirk, while interesting, creation, be able to create anything, I feel like it's so underutilized, which is weird because she makes cannon, she makes electric, immunity things. She does a whole ton of stuff, but for the power of like creation, like, and of course you always have the memes. Why don't you just pull out a gun and then bam, all villains will be gone? But I'm sitting here like, for the power of creation, that's such a. You'd feel like there would be more, or there'd be like some interesting utility that she could use that for, like propelling herself off of something with like spawning a pole out of her hand and just flying off somewhere, or like I could discuss what you could do with creation, like using it offensively, defensively, being able to mix your opponent up with stuff like that, just because you'd be able to constantly throw out things. But Yaoyorozu doesn't use it like that. Yaoyorozu's intelligence isn't used like that, and Yaoyorozu gets so little screen time after her little arc, quotation marks. Yeah, it's not really, it's actually an arc, I'll give it that, in the Aizawa and Todoroki fight where she's working with Todoroki. After that, she's just swept under the rug. And when she gets her little resurgence in the Class 1A versus Class 1B, she loses. And Kendo gets highlighted, and that's good for Kendo, but it makes Yaoyorozu just look worse. Like, what's all that intelligence for if it's not going to do anything? I'm going to get into that point again later when I talk about Midoriya, but that's why Momo was a yikes. She's just like, she has potential. She has loads of potential. It's like a mystery box. Like, there could be a numerous amount of amazing things in that box, but that box hasn't been opened yet, or that box was opened and it was disappointing. That's why I feel like Yaoyorozu. That's why she's a big yikes for me personally. Another yikes. Jiro is her quirk is interesting. I'll admit, I like Headphone Jack just because it's a weird concept. That's the main reason I like it. It's a weird concept that isn't too weird, and I can sort of understand it as I can sort of understand it as working in Hero World. It's good for being able to hear out hostages and stuff like that. Like, they show off interesting uses for it. And I think sound manipulation in general is just really, really cool, because it's such an underutilized niche. You never really see anyone manipulate sound directly and frequencies and stuff like that. So I think all that's fine. I feel like Jiro's a yikes where she's focused a lot more on what her profession isn't going to be. Like, Jiro's arc in the Gentle arc, or the UA Festival. No, because not the. I forget what that arc is called. The Gentle arc is what I call it, because I always call the arcs after the villains, even though the arcs are never named after the villains for some reason. The reason I don't think that's good, it's the same reason I don't think Nejire, completely random tangent, but I don't think Nejire is a good character either, is because these women, and Jiro especially, is aiming, well, not Jiro especially, Nejire and Jiro especially, are aiming to be heroines. So whatever development they should have should correlate to themselves in the hero world, the My Hero part of My Hero Academia, not the academia part. Because you're gonna need to be able to save people and grow like that. You can't lock a character down to something that isn't going to matter in their future. And I don't mean like Jiro's singing ability isn't gonna save you. That's the thing. It's not like her singing has any special effects or properties, so I'm not sure what that's going to do for her in the future. It makes me wonder, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? And why is this the arc focused on? I believe every single arc that affects a hero, one of the 1A students, in a hero sense of way, like I guess, like, this is weird, but I guess Momo's arc, Rose's arc, leads better into a hero sort of sense, because at least it was in a situation where she's going to need to use her intelligence later on in the hero world. So I guess that works out okay. But the thing with Yaoyorozu is that it falls off after that. Like, we never see her use her intelligence like she has in that fight ever again. And it's never worked. You know what, I think I'll move Joe up to okay, but that's because I'm thinking of it. I guess her confidence issue, but her confidence issues were mainly with performance itself. At least I think. I'm gonna have to reread that arc again, especially when I go to make that gentle video. But I'm gonna reread that arc again because I'm not sure what her issue was in that arc. Was it just performing in front of people singing wise? Because I don't ever remember Dro having performance issues as a hero. That's why I think the arc is so weird, that it has nothing to do with what she wants to do in her future. She doesn't, well, at least as far as I know, she doesn't want to be a big famous musician. She wants to be a hero. So I don't really get it. Jiro's out is really confusing to me. I don't know why I went on that super long tangent. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Jiro's okay, I guess. Let me see. Yikes. Am I discussing me? You know what? Since I leaped into okay by complete and utter accident, but there are gonna be more characters down yikes, but since I'm in okay, I think Mineta's okay. Now, before y'all attack me, I think Mineta's character perversion's horrible. I think they go very, very too far, and they aren't funny half the time. Sometimes they're funny. I think the way Horikoshi draws Mineta is fantastic, and like the little gags that Mineta has that aren't strictly based on his perverted nature are fine. Like the, oh, I can't play the guitar because of my character design. That's hilarious. The way he leans into wanting to see the girls' room with the eyes blanked out. All the way he's drawn is funny. I even think his quirk is interesting, and I'm gonna hop into this right now just completely by accident. Man, this is gonna be like the most tangenty Killers Tuesdays so far. But I can believe that Mineta got into 1A through the entrance exam. I can't believe Toru Hagakure got into it. I can't believe Baby Koji. Like, okay. I can believe everyone but Hagakure. Hagakure is the only one I can't believe got into UA via the entrance exam. And honestly, I should extend that to like probably Koda, because he doesn't seem like the fighter type. The rest I'll let slide. But I can see how Mineta can work as a hero. Let me get back to my point. I can see how Mineta can function as a hero. I understand he is honestly selfish motivation. He's never, ever going to have a girlfriend, especially not the way he acts. But he thinks, as long as he plays his cards right as a hero, he can bamboozle somebody into thinking that he's husband material. Like, I guess that's how his mind works right here and now, and I guess that's okay. Like, it's alright. I don't necessarily vibe with it, but Mineta, you do you, dog. Like, I guess I think he's okay because he has that moment where he just he is one of the smartest characters. That's crazy. He's smarter than Midoriya. He's smarter than Yayorozu. He's smarter than all the supposedly smart characters because he outplayed Midnight, a professional pro hero who was hunting him down. He outplayed her. Played her good too, and he's gotten himself out of a good chunk of situations, and of course that's purely for his gag character appeal, but like, that's still impressive. He has that moment that I will probably always remember him for, and that's more than I can say for other characters. So give me that of that. I think his design's okay. I think his jokes sometimes are funny, and I think his quirk is okay and interesting enough. Like, I could see how it could work in the hero world, especially for like suspending things in place when things are collapsing, using his orbs on the top of his head and just working stuff like that out, or trapping people with them. I think he works in an okay sense. I don't think he gets any higher than that, though, not by a long shot. Do I dive back into yikes? I think I'll dive back into yikes. Am I really about to get into this? Yeah, I guess I am. Uraraka's a yikes. Uraraka is a big yikes. And now, if you had asked me after the tournament where I thought about Uraraka, I think I'd put her in okay. Because I'd be like, okay, whatever, she did get blown up a couple times. So I guess it's okay to cry, and she's feeling her family, stuff like that, in her mind. So I guess that's fine. But what I've run into when it comes to thinking about Uraraka is the fact that Uraraka isn't a character without Midori. Her entire character is revolved around Midoriya, and it it comes to like Sakura syndrome, and I say this not lightly because there are very few characters I hit with the Part 1 Sakura button. Like I stamp on the forehead with the Part 1 Sakura stamp, but she has that hard like. As I every time I read her thinking about Deku, what would Deku do in this situation? Why can't I be more like Deku? Deku's so amazing. Deku. I'm thinking, wow, Sasuke's so amazing. Wow, Sasuke, why don't you love me? Sasuke, please come back to the village. Like it hits me so hard. Like I actually feel like I get bludgeoned over the head every time I read something like that. The fact that she as a character cannot function without Midoriya. The fact that he is literally her weakness. The fact that she's done nothing without him. Not a single thing. You know why I don't get mad at Part 2 Sakura? She helped Lady Shield defeat Sasori. She was integral to keeping Naruto alive in the war arc. She does things on her own, of her own volition. Is she still jacked up? Yes. I still think Part 2 Sakura has a lot of problems. I think adult Sakura, from what little I know of her, has a lot of problems. But I can give her something. I can't give her Uraraka anything. Every time she's succeeded, it's because of Midoriya. She beat 13 because Aoyama, of all characters, called her out on her crush. Every single time we see Uraraka, it's never Uraraka, it's Uraraka pining for Midoriya, and that is so boring. And here's my thing. I don't mind characters being in love. I don't. But, like, Meliodas is one of my favorite characters ever. And he's in love with Elizabeth. That's the main point of his life. But I don't think he's a bad character because he does things independent of her. Even same with Elizabeth. Who, while I think early Elizabeth is pretty bad, once we get to a certain point in Seven Deadly Sins, I think Elizabeth is a great character. Maybe not the best, but still a great character with her own things that she does. Uraraka hasn't hit that point yet. She's so over-reliant, she makes situations better for her opponents. Toga, of all of the crazy, she literally had Toga pinned beneath her. Yet, because Toga brings up Midoriya, she gets stabbed, Toga gets her blood, and then that's used later on as a trick, and now Toga's more powerful because of that, because of stupid quirk stuff in the narrative. So, why is this what we're going with? This is why she's a yikes. She's had screen time. Her quirk is super interesting, but her quirk is underutilized. Her character is dumb. The way she relies on Midoriya is dumb. She fails fundamentally as a character because she isn't one. All she is the I love Midoriya. She's every Midoriya fangirl / boy or whatever compiled into a character and slapped in the narrative, and that's horrible. Like, there's nothing entertaining about watching that. There's nothing entertaining about watching Uraraka. And Zero Gravity would be I would take Zero Gravity. Like, there are many more quirks I prefer to have, but one of them on the top of that list would be Zero Gravity. Can you imagine me chucking a semi-truck at you? Her limit is 3 tons. Boy, I'm hurling everything. But she never does that. Like, and I always think back to her fight with Bakugo, and I think about, like, wasted quirk potential. Bro, why did she just... She's also just not the smartest. Like, she literally tells Bakugo, oh, by the way, look up, or whatever. She literally informs him that she's about to drop her final attack on him. Her only attack, by the way, because Bakugo's too fast and strong for her. She warns him about it, instead of just randomly doing it. And I keep self-plugging here, but if you go watch what if Midoriya was confident in Part 5, I believe, then you'll see I altered that fight a little bit. I altered Uraraka a lot in that entire narrative because I've taken what could be an interesting facet of her quirk. Making anything weightless is such a strange ability that has so much utility, because that means Uraraka could literally chuck anything in anyone. I think that idea is used once in the manga when she throws Kurogiri. And that's it. Like, why is that not used more? Why is her idea for attacking always just dropping things on people? Throw a piece of gum. If the situation's bad, launch a car at someone's forehead. Like, I don't care. And she could do it. That's my thing. It'd be one thing if her weight limit was like 200 pounds. But nah, she can lift 3 tons. Eat something. Uraraka's a yikes. Uraraka's a yikes. I think her character is bad. I think her quirk's underutilized, but I think her quirk is cool. That's the only reason she's not who I do exist. Bada bang, bada boom. She's a yikes. I feel like I've run out of yikes. But I feel like I'm about to hit a lot of. Kaminari's love struck, but he does it better than Uraraka does. He's love struck with Jiro, but like Kaminari has moments. Like he came in clutch for the boys in the hero license exam when he straight up beat that one Shiketsu kid on his own. Epic. He just had his moment recently in the villains arc where he took on that Thunderstorm villain and absorbed all their volts to create that really cool visual. Epic. His quirk is just in general really, really interesting. Great. His design's pretty simple, but the little streak gives him that extra bit of utility and, you know, shows off his quirk in a direct way. Good. Once again, I hit the wall where, like, there's nothing great about his character. He has epic moments, but I can't put him in great because I have nothing to discuss. Like, whenever I make these character videos or talking about characters and stuff like that, I focus a lot on development and, you know, character interactions and just the character itself a lot, because that's really what I read stuff for. Like, I read and like consume media for. So whenever I think of a character, while a lot of their epic moments do come to mind, and epic moments do facilitate a lot of things that I like in a character. Like Escanor is not just cool for all the character things he's done and how great of a character he is across the entirety of Seven Deadly Sins, but he's also cool for his epic moments. But you need to mix those two together, and I think I'm thinking about this right now. I think I value character a bit more, like a healthy chunk more, than I do epic moments, because those always help. Like, epic moments always bolster a character, but as I'm about to get into with the next person I talk about, it doesn't save a character, ever. It never does. No matter how cool you are, if you as a character are boring, stupid, or don't like your character, then you drop massively. But back to Kaminari, I think he's okay. I think his quirk's pretty cool. I think his interactions that he has with other characters are pretty cool. I think he's an interesting guy, but like, I'm still trying to think of Kaminari himself as a character, and I don't have much to talk about. His character is his quirk. He's not the smartest guy, and then he's ends up getting body bag for it or whatever, and his quirk just makes him stupid, like even more dumb, makes him brain dead. So there isn't really much to discuss with Kaminari other than his short cool moments. That's why I think he's in okay. If he had actual character outside of his like minor current interaction with Jiro and stuff like that, I feel like I could work better with that, but I can't. Not right now. I feel like if I give Kaminari some time, then he could shoot up higher. Before I put him on blast, before y'all know who I'm about to put on blast too, I think I may just fill out the OKs. And you know what? I think I will fill out the OKs. I think the rest, yeah, people ain't gonna be happy about that one, but I'm gonna put that there. And I think I'm good with that. I think I'm good with that for now. To explain the rest of the OKs real quick. Mina, once again, I think her quirk's cool. I think her design's pretty actually really, really interesting. I like the references she makes back to Alien, and I think her character is actually half decent. The fact that she's such an energized person, and the fact that she saves people, and the way that she ties back into Kirishima's backstory, and all that works and stuff like that. I think all that's fine. I actually do. I think all that's okay. And that's where she hits the wall. Like, she doesn't necessarily have any cool moments outside her one moment where she was in the past, not even her modern self, that one moment in the past where she was able to save those people from that villain. But other than that, I can't really think of anything for Ashido. I think her character is okay. I don't think she's ever had any development. She hasn't had that many cool moments, and all around she's just okay. Same thing for Asui. So I actually really used to like Asui, but then I sat down one day and talked with someone about her. forget which friend it even was, but I think he literally just asked me the question, "What's Asui done, man?" I was just like, "Darn, bro, you right." And that's where the conversation just, well, that's where my view kind of just cut off. I'm just like, there's not much to praise about her. Like her designs, oh, I think her designs weird enough, but I think it's okay. Her quirk is interesting enough. I kind of want to see more of what you could do with the quirk that's so broad as Frog. I like the expansions it's gotten. Just the expansion's never been useful in like an actual useful scenario. I don't think she's a good character. Like she hits me a lot. This is gonna sound weird. She hits me a lot with the Aizawa vibes, where she's a good character, but I'm not sure what development. And I think Aizawa has had more moments that would definitely put him higher. Like she loves and takes care of her siblings when her parents can't. She's working the life of a hero. She does this, that, and the other. But it's wild to say that's just okay for me. Like I can't really put honestly much higher because there's really much to discuss. Like I can't praise her character or decry her character like I could do with Araka, or praise a character like I can do with any other characters I'm gonna get into praising soon. The reason Todoroki's in okay is, and I'll tell you, as I was talking about, I think it was like the row, I was tempted to put Todoroki in Yikes. Really was thinking about putting Todoroki in Yikes, because I feel like his character flip is so fast. It is such a stark character flip over such a simple revelation. Like, it's weird to discuss. It's weird to think about. But has no one, not a single person, told Todoroki that it was his power? Like, never once was he really, okay, let's say that, because Todoroki was very sheltered. Let's give all that a pass. Let's say his awakening is something that only could happen against Midoriya, because Midoriya was the only person who managed to break through his wall, blah, 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 blah. Let's say all that's fine. But then he doesn't use his own power against Bakugo, and then I was thinking, oh, so we may actually get a little bit of a complex arc here. Like, Midoriya was able to throw a match on the fire, but Wind came by and blew that match out, so we're good to go on that front. Okay, we can kind of work with this. Like, when I initially was reading My Hero Academia way back, I remember reading that and being like, oh, okay, so this is going to be an interesting toss-up where we have this character that's just due to their years upon years of trauma and their understanding or lack of understanding of their situation, how crazy it would be for them to just reawaken to their power and then suddenly use it all willy-nilly. And I guess we're just going to have this really long character arc where we discover Todoroki as an individual and realize where he feels about his powers and how he could use. Now, he just didn't use it against Bakugo, because why not? And then he goes to train under Endeavor. Now, I believe Endeavor's a fantastic character. Y'all saw the success, well, probably not, but I have a video on the success of Endeavor versus High End and why I think Endeavor is like the best character in My Hero Academia by a long shot. But at that time that Todoroki went to become Endeavor's intern, made absolutely zero sense for Todoroki as a character, in my mind. And, like, we know Horikoshi isn't above pulling out options out of nowhere, or, like, pulling characters out of nowhere, so I feel like Todoroki lacks such build-up. He heel-turned, then he heel-turned with Midoriya, then he heel-turned back with Bakugo, then he heel-turned super hard when he went to go train with Endeavor. Then his character kind of just flatlined from that point. Like, even Stain Fight Todoroki was just, like, Todoroki has legitimately flatlined. Like, I'm not sure Todoroki has a heartbeat. Like, what has Todoroki done from that point on? Like, I'm actually trying to think. Like, what has he done? Nothing. Is that weird? Wild to think? Nothing. I think Todoroki got kicked off the face of the map. What? Hold on. Todoroki seriously, he had his little spat with Inasa, but that was just dumb. Yeah. Darn, bro. I'm Todoroki. You gonna have to catch it, bro. I can't do it to, bro. I hate to do this to you. I hate to do it to you. But yeah, Todoroki's just a yikes. Like wow. I think this is the first time anyone's ever moved down in the middle of my thought process and not moved up. Todoroki's a big yikes. He's a very confusing character, and I think I won't talk about Todoroki much here because I don't even know how long I'm going. I need to start timing myself when doing this. But Todoroki's a yikes. His character makes absolutely no sense, and then he just flatlines after that. I need to talk about Todoroki. Hopefully editing me will write this down after I'm done recording. I need to make a video on Todoroki and why he makes absolutely no sense as a character at all. Wow. Todoroki, you big ol' yikes. Oh, you know what? If we're talking about controversial yikes, yeah. So let's talk about Midoriya Izuku and why he's a yikes of 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 a yikes. Now, I have seen videos trying to defend Midoriya, and I do actually respect a lot of those videos because a lot of those videos are great points. Like, I'm thinking, what's a video right now? A video by the Red Cloak, I believe. Now, shoot, hold on, let me see. It was a video called "Why No One Understands Midoriya," and I watched that video and I was just like, you know what? I 12 out of 10 respect that. I understand where you're coming from. I can see all your points, and it actually does make sense. And like, I can understand liking Midoriya. I really can. Let me see. Yep. Was the Red Cloak. No one understands Midoriya in My Hero Academia. Okay, yeah. I understand it. It's weird. No one understands why I understand. Seriously, go watch that video if you need some like Midoriya detox or like an understanding of why people like Midoriya and why people think Midoriya is a good character. Go watch that video. But me personally, this little broccoli-haired boy. So remember how I said Todoroki makes absolutely no sense as a character, or Araka's a waste of a character, and her quirk would be better on a different person, and yeah, basically all these little things that I don't like about other characters apply to Midoriya. And now, I know everyone means about, Mirio should have gotten one for all, and Mirio should have gotten one for all, and I think I'm very, very torn on that, because I can understand the logic behind not giving Mirio one for all. He was already very specifically trained with his current quirk, and then adding a whole new layer on top of that after who knows how long of training with permeation would have just thrown his entire... everything would have thrown off course and would have had to basically restart. He would, especially if he had the same body-breaking problems that Midoriya does, even though All Might didn't have those, because he was basically a Mirio-type person before he went through his fight with All For One. I can understand why Mirio wasn't the primary option. However, I do believe Midoriya earned one for all after the fact. Now, what I'm saying is, I don't think Midoriya... Alright, let me take it point by point. Let me address the biggest thing I don't like about Midoriya. He was hyped up as a character that reads his opponents, reads up on them, studies them, or not even opponents, he reads up on heroes. He's good at analysis. He does a lot of in-fight thinking. He very much breaks things down analytically, almost like a Batman of sorts, where he had no power, but he would always prepare himself for every single situation. He would break things down, understand everything. He never does that. He did it once in a fight, and even then he didn't even... It lasted for 2 seconds when he did it against Bakugo, and he understood that one thing Bakugo tries to go for is right, and then Bakugo swung with his left and threw Midoriya completely off, and after that it just vanished. Like, Midoriya is... A lot of people complain about Goku and Naruto and basically every other shonen anime protagonist believing the only solution is hit the thing harder. Like, oh, we need to just overpower the dangerous person, let's just hit it harder. Midoriya is that. And I think a lot of people don't think that, but I think people need to realize that. Midoriya has only ever solved his problems by hitting them harder, and it is boring. It is... Here's the thing, actually, because there have been situations in Dragon Ball where Goku has just hit the thing harder and it's worked. Same thing with Naruto. There have been situations where he's hit the thing harder and it's worked. That's not always the immediate solution, but from muscular, even, let me go all the way back, from Todoroki to muscular to overhaul to gentle to every single villain that Midoriya has fought that hasn't gone down in one hit, his solution has never been to shake up his strategy, to figure out something different. It's always to charge stupidly head first into battle and just pray that he wins. And it'd be one thing if, like, Midoriya was a battle genius. Like, what I mean is, like, a lot of characters, a lot of shonen characters, shonen main characters specifically, are considered, like, dumb in real life but smart in battle. But Midoriya has the opposite issue where he's smart, quotation marks, in real life, because he isn't even the smartest student. I think he's like fourth, so he's not even the smartest student, but he's smart in real life and stupid in battle. Like, Midoriya does nothing. And if you think I have a problem with Midoriya stealing techniques, I don't. I love when characters steal techniques. I do. I love when characters see something they like, tear it out, and are just like, well, thanks, I'm gonna add that to my moveset real quick. Like, one of my favorite aspects about Goku is, I know a lot of people rag on him for this, but that he steals every single technique he likes. Oh, Kamehameha, I'm gonna take that. Ooh, flight, I'm gonna take that. Ooh, structural disc, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that, because that's interesting. It's always cool to see a character build on their movesets, and that's the one thing I do like about Midoriya. But we never ever get Midoriya breaking down a battle or figuring out something, another solution to a fight that isn't hit the thing harder. Like, can you imagine how cool the overhaul fight would have been if Midoriya thought, like, actually used his brain? Can you imagine? Like, I'll be honest, I didn't even want Midoriya to fight Overhaul. I think that was not his fight at all. I think Midoriya is super inconsistent as a character due to the end of that fight. But what I wish was something like Midoriya realizing that Overhaul is constantly using these spikes. He could just use it as like a jungle gym to swing around, start throwing things in like Chisaki and just mixing things up, and just, I feel like Midoriya has so much potential, and I don't think he should have gotten those extra quirks. I guess spoilers for the manga, because I don't think the anime's gotten up to that point. But Midoriya is getting more quirks one for all, and I don't think it's necessary. Like, we should have gotten Midoriya realizing, like, I wanted to see Midoriya in this late at night, just realizing, okay, so I have one for all. Now, what can I do with it? What superhuman things that I could have never done before, because I was just a regular human, what can I do? Like, picture yourself, if you got one for all, what would you do? If you had even just 5% of one for all, seeing all the superhuman stuff that Midoriya's done with it, would your first solution be to hit things? Honestly, no. I would have taken the time, and note, I'm not the smartest of smart, but I would have taken the time and I would have tested my limits. I would have been like, okay, what different complex maneuvers can I do with this new level of power? How can I mix it up so I don't have to use it? Especially if my body's gonna break down every time I go beyond it. Why would I ever just keep destroying my body for no good reason? And Midoriya doesn't do that. He never thinks, and that's so annoying. Like, Midoriya's stupid. I don't want to put it like that, and I know I'm saying a whole lot of things in a whole lot of complex ways for no reason, but if I wanted to break it down, Midoriya's stupid. That's why he's a yikes. He's absolutely dumb. Dead dumb stupid. And especially in the latest chapter. Not sure how it's gonna go, but he literally charged right at Shigaraki. He is Shigaraki's main goal right now. And he charges dead at him. What is wrong with him? Why is Midoriya so stupid? It aggravates me. Like, and I put on a lot of airs in performance, but I actually do legitimately get annoyed whenever Midoriya does something stupid. Like, and he does it a lot. And whenever Midoriya breaks rules, it gets me even more annoyed, because that's like pure plot armor, pure main character. 1,000,000%, oh wow, main character status. Infinite 100% one for all, wow, main character status. Overpowering 2 quirks in one, oh, main character status. Midoriya not being dead in multiple situations, oh, main character status. Midoriya has so much plot armor that, like, I'm pretty sure if we tried to fit it on panel, it wouldn't even fit in an entire 2-page spread. My guy's got that much plot on. But I'm done ripping on Midori. I'm making an entire video. That's it. Yeah, I'm making an entire video, and I feel like I'm talking way too long. I think Ida's is great because we get something interesting with Ida where we see him start off as this rigid, law-abiding person who would never do the dangerous thing, but then real life hits him when his brother gets paralyzed and he falls down this dark path and he goes to go kill someone else as a hero. Like, that's the one thing they're not supposed to do. You can break all their bones or whatever, but you're not supposed to kill them. And Ida goes down that dark path, and then he realizes the error of his ways when Stain almost kills him and Native, and he sees the true way of a hero in Midoriya and Todoroki. And then he rises back up and then understands what he should do and what the right way of a hero is, and he grows to understand all of that. And then later on in the future, he holds people back from making those stupid mistakes that he almost did, like in the fight when All for One popped up and they all go to save Bakugo. It's Ida who holds Midoriya and Todoroki back from doing a stupid decision and just running out into the fray and dying. Because he was learned the hard way that running into battle is not the best solution to every situation. I feel like he's flatlined a lot as a character, but I feel like Ida works super duper well for how little his arc was and how much his arc affects him later on. Like, we haven't seen Ida make a decision like he did against Stain since, because he knows it's not the right way to go no more. And that's great. That's perfection to me. I like when he's perfection relative. I think on the grand scale of characters that I like, he'd be in like okay, which just makes you wonder where I put the rest of these characters on a grand scale of things. But I think relative to his peers, he's perfection by far. He had an arc that lasted and plays into him to this day. Has he had any cool moments since? No, hasn't. He hasn't had much screen time since. Because he's not Midoriya. He's not the next person we're going to discuss, Bakugo. So I think Bakugo is also up there in perfection. If and only if for the fact that, once again, he develops. But it's a gradual development. It's a good thing. It's the one time that Horikoshi actually took his time with a character for the most part and changed them over a course of events due to multiple events occurring and transpiring to them across their lifetime. He actually made it work. I was shocked and I was proud. Like, I'm really, really happy for Bakugo and how he's grown to understand that his way of thinking isn't always the proper way of thinking, and that there are other ways to treat people than just being a mean person and stuff like that, and that quirks aren't inferior, and that society has molded him into a terrible individual, and how he's pushed past that. Now he tries to help other people push past that. Like that little kid when he's in his license training, since he failed it before, the way he just tells the kid, hey, you gotta be able to humble yourself, dog. You can't let yourself fall like that. And the way he goes from, I only fight alone, I do everything myself, to in that little training arc where he's just like, we are going to win together as a team perfectly, not a single person lost. Bakugo, great. I feel bad for him though. Like, I do still think no matter what, he's always going to be Midoriya's inferior, and there's nothing that can change that. And it's really, really sad, and I know Horikoshi isn't going to address that. He's just going to push that under the rug, despite having done it great with Endeavor and All Might. He's going to push Bakugo's little inferiority arc under the rug, and I think Bakugo's in severe need of an arc right now, but for what he has, it's great. Perfection. Up there with Ida, hands down. Then let me just put these two in great. Kirishima, Kirishima doesn't really have an arc, I'll admit. Doesn't have much of an arc at all, but he does the cool things. Like, not even that, he doesn't really do the cool things. I feel like Kirishima coming to terms with himself is what's really, really good, because he has this slight arc in the overhaul arc where he unlocks Unbreakable, and he thinks he's finally beyond, he's unbreakable. He's gonna be able to perform his job whenever, and he'll never make mistakes because he's perfect and strongest and all that. But then Rappa comes in and slaps him, And we get this flashback where we understand that Kirishima already went through an arc. He was already alone and isolated, and then he had his hero that he wanted to become, and he let that drive him to the point where he is. And he saw Ashido be that stronger individual when he couldn't be, and he respects that and he grows from that, and he lets that fuel him one more time into making that opening for Fat Gum to use all that energy. And then even his broken state, he re-hardens what is left of him, takes the hit, loses again, and I think he's just great. I think he's great off that one little arc. And of course, he hasn't had screen time since, because Horikoshi works in the way where, you had your little 2-second arc, you're done. Goodbye now. And then, if you're not Bakugo and Midoriya, goodbye now. And then, that's it. I think he's great. I wish he had more cool stuff that he had done. And I just wish he had more screen time. Like, that's all I can say. Yo, why did Midoriya make me so sad? I feel like I had so much energy at the start of this recording, but now I'm just sad. And then, Tokoyami, he's superficially cool. Dark Shadow's superficially cool. What arc he's had, I think he's just a little less edgy now, and I guess that's cool enough, but I'm really putting him up there for all his cool moments with Dark Shadow. Like, he's like the superficial freebie pass, where I think he's the coolest character in 1A. Hands down. Like, out of all the characters, out of all the quirks, no matter how much cool, quotation mark, stuff Midoriya has done for actual sensible staying in your own rule set types of powers, yeah, Tokoyami's the coolest. Yo, the most hyped I was throughout Heroes, I believe, was it Heroes Rising? The second movie, or Two Heroes, or whatever. It wasn't Midoriya and Bakugo versus Nines. I thought that was stupid. I'll be honest. I thought that was stupid. I thought the whole ending of that movie was stupid. But what got me hyped through that, the most hyped I was when Ashido got hurt and Tokoyami went nuts. Thought that was super, super metal. And I think that's cool. That's all Tokoyami has. He's really, 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 really cool. And that's really where it ends. Yeah, looking at this tier list, it's very lopsided towards the bottom, and I guess that's because Horikoshi, and that's the thing. I keep ragging on Horikoshi himself, but let me tell you a fun fact. Horikoshi is a fantastic writer. I know he is. Because he has fantastic characters, and he's always had a fantastic world. Out of all the works I've read from Horikoshi, he's always had a fantastic world. He's always had fantastic characters. And even in the previous series that Horikoshi wrote, Ogata Makizu, I always bring it up in slight little bursts, because honestly, Horikoshi knew how to write an ensemble cast in that one. Each character had their own little moments that they could be remembered for, and they would always split up screen time evenly, and there wasn't such a heavy main character bias in that one. So I don't know what happened to My Hero Academia, and I will constantly ask what happened to My Hero Academia, because I feel like his writing quality, while jumped in some areas, I think his world in this one is even better than it was in Ogata Makizu. I think his main character writing, specifically main characters, and his ability to split screen time dropped drastically. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching this Tier List Tuesday. If y'all actually made it through, yo, if y'all made it through, I'm gonna actually start doing this at the end of these longer videos, or I guess like these, especially the tier lists, because I know I ramble a lot in these. If y'all made it all the way through this video, drop a Midoriya Y in the comments. Just Midoriya Y. If y'all do that, I know y'all made it all the way through the video. So I'd be happy to see that. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Every subscribe helps. Every like helps. Trust me, it does. And thank you guys once again so much for watching. This is that guy with the pencil writing off.